and welcome to the Magic of Joy channel. Today, I want to talk more about how joy opens us up to the opportunity to use our power in a more beautiful way. It doesn't really matter who you are, what your gender is, or your race. When we allow joy to inform our choices, we can enjoy using our power and feel good about doing so. And given the challenges we have right now, I think it's fair to say that using our power well is not something we have yet mastered. Suppose we could make that easier. So let's explore that. I want to ask the question, what do animals know that we do not? Because they seem to have this handled better than we do. I'm always amazed at how adaptable and accepting animals are about life. I've often wondered why we humans, and I'm generalizing, of course, have such a difficult time with it. It seems we've turned life into an ordeal or a fight. Sometimes I think we only value something if it requires a fight. If something comes to us too easily, we often distrust it. In fact, trust is something that animals have, whether it's trust in nature, life, or themselves. Animals trust themselves, their instincts and their bodies, and gravitate towards what is good for them. It's very natural. It's instinctive. It's a great use of your natural instincts. We're all messed up on this subject because of the mind over matter mindset, which means we control using our mind. And that means we work when we're tired, we eat according to a schedule, not when we're hungry, etc. And it's no wonder our bodies are all messed up. We can't really understand what they're necessarily telling us, and we feel lousy. The whole paradigm of domination and top-down hierarchy and order-based living does not allow for natural, ongoing adaptability, flow, or resilience. There seems to be an idea that certain things are fixed when that isn't true, and maintaining fixed social structures at great cost to all of us has messed us up. If the world is supposed to be a certain way and it is not, have you noticed how we externalize the problems to someone or something? That makes all differences, all changes like climate, the problem, rather than factors that just need to be addressed. The rigidity of old ideas about what is right takes our ability to adapt away from us. It's not just individual resilience that is at stake. It's also the resilience of our beautiful planet at risk. What does this tell us about what we define as good? And do we even know what it is really good anymore? After all, we're pretty messed up in our bodies. If we did, would we have the problems that we're having? Animals are wonderfully direct. They see good, they act on goodness, and all is well. If you're good for them, they will let you know how much they appreciate you. There is no conflict. Humans and their desire for control complicate many social interactions and personal choices. And as a result, many people feel conflicted when making choices about their lives because what may actually be good for them may have social and economic consequences if they're disapproved of. Should self-care really come with so much baggage? Animals would say no. So what does this tell us about power? We have defined power as control, which at a societal level becomes institutional power, and it takes power out of the hands of the individual through various ruling mechanisms. We really need to distinguish this form of social power from natural power, which is innate, and it's the ability to do something or act in a particular way, especially as, according to the dictionary, a faculty or a quality. So the power of speech, for instance. So it's an ability, a capacity, a capability, a potential, a faculty, a property, or a competence. All of the institutional power does not mean much without the other, more natural use of power. And yet we cannot seem to get out of our own way about this. Ask anyone who has been marginalized or othered about how their natural gifts have been put down, or worse. When this happens, we are all the losers. And institutional power cannot compensate for it. I don't care how big your army is. If no one knows how to grow food or build a house, that is not how to make life work. Juxtaposing these two kinds of power hopefully brings some perspective to this topic. Animals don't fight their own power, and they accept different kinds of power in other animals in nature. They work with it, and nature works very well as a result. We humans have not invented a better way to use power. So what can we do about this? How can we make our natural power work for us and work for us better? Is there a way to take a step back and ask ourselves some questions so we can reshape our relationship between individual power and institutional power? Can we become friends? I have noticed that how we set priorities is an issue. How is it that so many basic needs are unmet? How is it that we've built up enough military weapons to supply a few galaxies, and we have so many people who are poor and starving? Would it be fair to ask if we have overinvested in distrust and underinvested in trust? Is the whole point of the idea of mind over matter that we cannot trust ourselves? Or is that the purpose of it, to make sure that we don't? And how would we change that? Have you ever wondered why your body will say one thing and your mind another, so you can feel like there's an inner war going on? There's a reason for that. Your natural intelligence is bumped up against ideas and ways of thinking that are distrustful. You cannot function effectively in a world built on distrust. Nature works on trust. That doesn't mean that all is fun and games, but each creature in nature trusts itself and what it's all about. That trust extends out to other creatures unless there's an obvious danger. Have you ever noticed the genuinely trusting nature of dogs, for instance? Because their inner set point, if you will, or compass, is one of trust. When they bump into something they don't trust, they do not get all bent out of shape. They deal with it and move on in a world where the good outweighs the bad. You read all the time about abused animals who've recovered and have their faith in the world restored, thanks to humans who do try to restore the trust. One experience is not final. What happens then when the point of view is basically distrustful and something good happens? Does it register? Or is it seen as a threat to someone's mindset, their mindset of distrust? Is the approved social narrative one of distrust? Then how can we have a trust-creating one? Is fear of trust our real issue? What would happen to our hierarchies if trust became the norm in how we organize the world? I cannot help but wonder what would happen if we took the air out of the balloon of distrust. Joy is an anchor and a compass, and it's an intelligence, and it's wonderful for fostering trust because its intention is constructive and friendly. It helps us celebrate and serve the good in ourselves, each other, and the world. What would happen if we made a world built on creating joy our project? Would the war be over? Would there be such a need for uproar? Would we have so much needless harm? I'm wondering if you're thinking to yourself, nah, it couldn't be that easy. Well, maybe not. But I think it would be fun to see if we could rebuild the world from the perspective of creating joy and trust so that we can live and work together better and enjoy the process. What do you think? Thanks for watching the video. I hope you've enjoyed learning more about how joy can transform your life. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends and loved ones and anyone else that you think would benefit. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more videos on the transformative power of joy. I'll be back soon to give you more information about how joy as a practice and compass can transform your life. Until then, stay well and joyful. Thanks for listening.